Hi, my name is Uncle Ben, and on today's video, I'm gonna get my ass kicked by Steve Morse. Hey there kids, it's your good buddy Uncle Ben, and on today's video I'm taking you guys along for the journey as I try to scale the lofty heights of Mount Alternate Picking Olympus and learn the legendary intro of Tumeni Notes by Steve Morse. And I can already tell you guys, this is going to be a bad idea, because playing this thing is harder than trying to find a prom queen that isn't knocked up from my high school. And I was homeschooled. I guess you could say that I've got Steve Morse on the brain because I'm going to be rubbing elbows with him soon at the 5th annual Woodshed Guitar Experience Guitar Camp over in Crossville, Tennessee, hosted by my good buddy Andy Wood. Steve Morse, Brent Mason, Tom Quayle, Ariel Posen, and a ton of other hunks are going to be there, and so will I. Since Steve Morse is going to be the main course of the Woodshed Camp, we're doing a very special giveaway where you can win one of his signature 100-watt Engel amps, just like the one I'm using right here in today's video. This is an all-tube 100-watt fire-breathing machine. It's got all the bells and whistles, AC blows cold, it's got flamethrowers, biodiesel, 3D graphics, and it can be yours, even if you're not going to the camp. All that you got to do is to click the Sweetwater link down there in the video description and enter to win this incredible amp today. The announcement for the winner is going to be made on September 5th, which is the first day of the Woodshed Guitar Experience. And while you're there on the Sweetwater site from clicking the link in the video description, you're also going to find a very special promo code where you can save 200 smackers on your entrance fee. So don't delay, sign up today. Camp starts September 5th, goes through the 8th, and I hope to see you guys there. As always, this video is brought to you guys by everybody who supports my channel over on my Patreon page, patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. People are saying it's the greatest place on the entire internet, and I intend to keep it that way. Sign up today for all kinds of bonus goodies, extra videos, downloadable tabs, and so much more. This week, everybody who supports my channel, even for just $1 a month, is going to get a very special, extended, and ad-free cut of this video, featuring way more better knowledge, way more worser playing, and probably a whole lot of cussing. So don't delay. Sign up today. Guitar-wise for today's video, I'm going to need all the help that I can get, so I'm going to grab the most playable instrument I've ever put my hands on, my beloved Sir Modern Satin. Yeah, let's get into it. So typically with these videos, the first step is transcribing whatever it is that I'm trying to learn that day. But fortunately for us, Steve Morse has already done the work for us, back on his classic Power Lines instructional video, which you can find right here on YouTube. He gives it to us at ramming speed. And more mercifully, at stepdad speed. But of course, there's a catch. The entire thing is alternate picked, for God only knows what reason. This is one of Steve Morse's trademarks. It's rubbed off on guys like John Petrucci and Andy Wood. Now, the way that he's doing this is to simply start on a downstroke, then do an upstroke, and then repeat that as these triplets at 210 BPM while flying all over the neck. Fuck my life. I'll tell you guys what, that is tougher than a $2 steak. My buddy Troy Grady of the amazing Cracking the Code series has a video over on his channel where he interviews Steve and they really analyze some of his picking technique. It's fascinating. I absolutely recommend that you check it out. But from a player like myself, how I approach this technique is with caution, and usually kind of badly. I think of it as being a motion where instead of the pick moving up and down like this, where it's going to get caught in the strings every single time, I've got to move the pick more in little semicircles like this, almost like, I don't know, threading a needle or something. That way my downstroke is out and away from the strings and my upstroke is out and away from the strings. At first I was kind of tempted to try to mimic Morse's technique and like hold my pick the way he does or hold my fingers the way that he does. He kind of wraps a little finger on the body of the guitar and kind of straightens his fingers like that whenever he plays. But I ultimately think that kind of pursuit of trying to make your playing look like somebody else's is absolutely futile, you know? Our bodies are all different. He's not the same height as me. His fingers aren't the same length as mine. He's probably holding the guitar a little bit differently than I am. So these kind of things are ultimately pretty futile. It's kind of like trying to, you know, imitate the way that Michael Jordan ties his laces on his shoes and hoping that'll make you able to slam dunk or something. It just doesn't work. We're all different. That is a rad sounding amp. I've never played through an Engel before, so this has been a treat. I hope you guys have already entered to win one of these battle areas of your own using the Sweetwater link down there in the video description. The winner will be announced September 5th, 20 and 24, but you've got yourself a couple weeks to enter to win, so don't delay. Sign up today. Thankfully, the arpeggio shapes are pretty familiar for the left hand, but this 3-string cross-picking thing is thoroughly whipping my goat ass. So let's do a little bit of trial and error, emphasis on error obviously, and try to get this thing down pat a little bit more. I've talked about this kind of speed burst and freeze method for learning hot licks before. I look at it this way, every one of these runs through the arpeggios is kind of a copy and paste for the picking hand since it's the same picking every single time. So if I can try to practice that as one little unit of movement, my muscle memory can kind of consolidate that down to one, you know, chunk of information. That way I'm not trying to think of every pick stroke as it goes by at 210 BPM. I find it's pretty useful to practice that way. If you can get 1 repetition in, go for 2. If you can do 2, maybe try 3. .160 is getting pretty damn challenging, and that's still 50 BPM away from the finish line. Let's get a look down the barrel and get a little more analytical on what is working and not working with my picking by using the patented, I think it's patented, Troy Grady Cracking the Code magnet camera rig that allows me to mount my phone here on the neck of my guitar and give you guys a look at my picking hand close up. And let's slow things down so we can see exactly what kind of motions I'm making. So here at 120, you can clearly see that shallow semicircular arc that I'm talking about. At this tempo, it's not necessary that I get it super small, so you can see those arcs are pretty visible to the naked eye. Here at 140, you're gonna see that same semicircular thing, but with less control. See, I just whiffed the string back there. You'll see that a few more times. Accuracy is about 80%. 160, look how much the angle has changed here. That looks like a completely different technique set, 'cause I'm just trying to do this way too fast. Stuff like this takes a lot of time to get up to speed. A lot of missed notes, a lot of air ball in those strings, and again, it looks like a completely different player. But watch when it gets up to high speed, it looks and sounds kind of okay. Turkey scratching back there. What a cute boy. It sounds okay at tempo. 180, you're continuing to see that arc degrade. I'm just not ready to play this fast yet. You're gonna see a whole lot of me missing the string. See that upstroke? It's like it's kind of half-baked. But again, at speed, it'll fool you. Doesn't sound or look that bad. It's really amazing the stuff you can analyze when you're looking down the barrel of your own picking at super slow speed like that. Go over to Troy's channel, tell him I sent you, and find out about getting yourself one of these. They can be really beneficial to help you troubleshoot and problem solve issues that you're having with your own playing. I sure hope you've entered to win one of these lovely Ingles Steve Morse amps. Using the Sweetwater link down there in the video description, it can be yours. Oh yes, it can. I'll be real with you guys, I'm burning daylight here and I'm getting pretty chewed up by trying to alternate pick my way through that at some of those higher tempos. I'm starting to wonder if there might be other solutions to the problems I'm facing. Now most guitar players, whenever they see those 3-string kind of sweeps, their first instinct is to sweep pick it. It just kind of makes sense, right? So I could try approaching it with that technique and play something like this. So I am getting closer using the sweep picking technique, which is something I'm more used to. But I have noticed a few things that aren't really exactly right. So for one, I'm not getting a pick stroke on every single note. All of those arpeggios are starting off with a pull off. I'm playing them all as up, pull, up, down, down, down. Up, pull, up, down, down, down. Up, pull, up, down, down, down. Overall, it's just sounding more like how a rock or metal guy would play it, and not a guy like Steve who is steeped in southern music and bluegrass kind of playing technique. This is one of those things I don't think I really would have noticed a difference in years ago, but there's just no substituting for the rhythmic consistency and control you get when you're playing down, up, repeat. Do-do-da-do-da-do-da. You know, downstrokes and upstrokes inherently sound different. And having that alternation and that groove, especially at those high tempos, do-do-do-da-do-do-da-do-do-da-do-do-da, is why rock guys like me don't sound right when we play bluegrass stuff, you know? It's kind of like whenever I'm watching a movie and I hear somebody doing an outrageous southern accent and I'm like, I know that's not what we sound like, but to a lot of people it'll pass. It's kind of sort of like that. I think years ago I would have played that with the sweeps and been like, yeah, it's close enough, it's fine, it's the right notes. But now I'm hearing it and I'm like, yeah, it's the right notes, but it's not the right inflection. The emphasis is on the wrong musical syllable, so to speak. I don't know, you could try doing it with like hybrid picking. I'm usually a pretty adept hybrid picking player, but I actually just cut my nails really short. So I'm kind of grabbing those with the skin and it doesn't really sound right. I found this guy's YouTube video of him doing it with hybrid technique and he's got it down. That guy is smoking. Way to go, you, whoever you are, you're killing this stuff. I don't think that's really for me. So let's investigate another thing that might help. Because at this point I'm imagining myself putting this video up, absolutely falling on my face and having all the people at the Woodshed Guitar Experience see it and laugh at me.
No, they're all gonna laugh at you. They're gonna laugh at you. No, they're all gonna laugh at you.
No! That feels pretty dang good. That's kind of a compromise. That's splitting the difference between how a rock guy like me would play it and how a master like Steve Morse would do it. Up, pull, up, down, up, down. Up, pull, up, down, up, down. You know, again, there's one note out of every 6 that's not getting a pick stroke. But I think that's going to be the most consistent thing for me and what's going to allow me to get this kind of sort of close. Not bad. This might be a little bit of a eureka moment for me. Not bad. That's a $1.82 right there. Let's go for $1.90. It's a little sloppy, but I mean, 190, I'm only 20 BPM away from target tempo, so I see a little bit of hope here, even if it's not literally exactly the way that Steve is doing it. I'm gonna work on this for a little while, and then I'm gonna go take the dogs on a walk, because they're kind of giving me the stink eye, and we got some beautiful sunshine here in East Tennessee that I like to go enjoy. And I find taking those breaks like that are also a great time for your nervous system and your body to process the information you've been feeding it and hopefully turn it into permanent muscle memory. So the next time I pick it up, I'll be doing a little bit more better. Wish me luck. I mean, look at these two little critters. You guys want to go on a little stroll with Dad? Yeah, you do. Cuties. All right, the puppy's been walked. I've got myself a little bit of vitamin Jesus, done some practicing on this a little bit more, and I think it's time to take a swing at nailing it at album tempo. Wish me luck here. This is gonna be harder than finding a date to my homeschool prom. Okay, take 2. By no means perfect, but I'm not entirely mad at that for taking most of the day to work on one of the hardest things I've ever played. Well, now it's time to get to work on section number 2. Well guys, that was a fun and challenging little piece indeed. Thanks for being along for the ride, and don't forget there's still time for you guys to enter to win your very own Steve Morse Engel amp head, as well as get $200 off your entrance to the 2024 Woodshed Guitar Experience. So smash that Sweetwater link down there in the video description. So I would say I got this about 80% there. My picking technique is not what Steve's is. I'm doing the pull-off thing, which is kind of cheating a little bit. But you know, here's the thing guys, I could use this as an experience and be a real negative Nancy about the entire thing and be like, oh, my picking chops weren't up to what they should be. I didn't do it exactly right. I could get really down on myself if I wanted to. But instead, I would much rather use this whole experience as a way to further deify Steve Morse. Good God. I mean, just to try to do what that guy has done his entire career is bananas. It really just raises my appreciation for him and his incredible powers of shredding even higher than they already were. And really, at the end of the day, the reason I didn't end up nailing this exactly like Steve himself is because I just simply haven't put in the time. There is no replacement for just putting the time in. By the time Steve wrote those Tumeni Notes arpeggios, he'd probably already been cross-picking 3-string arpeggios for 10,000 hours alone, and I've barely scratched the surface of that technique. It's actually a fool's errand to try to think that I could just manifest that technique in a few hours on a Tuesday. That's pretty unrealistic. And I know that if I stuck with it, and I really wanted to get this technique down and make it a part of my playing, I probably could, but I would have to show up and put the hours in and need for it to be a part of my playing, which is just not gonna happen in a day. So the next time you guys are learning something challenging and it's really kicking your ass and you've worked on it all day and you still haven't got it, just keep that in mind. We all do that stuff, especially when it's techniques that we're just not comfortable or familiar with. We all fall short here and there. So don't worry about it. Put the time in, enjoy the journey. It'll make the destination all the sweeter when you get there. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications every time I upload a new slice of fried gold. And if you want to get the super ultra extended and ad-free cut of this video, you guys can sign up today over on my Patreon page, patreon.com/Ben Eller Guitars. I'm also going to be putting up the tabs and a guitar profile of the final way I ended up performing it there, so you guys can practice along just like I did in this video and get it up to about 80% there. Be sure to let me know in the comments section what you guys would like to see me try to tackle in a day next time. Well guys, it's been fun as always, but now it's time for me to get away from here and do some practicing of my own. That way my chops are honed to a razor sharpness for the Woodshed Guitar Experience, September 5th through the 8th, 20 and 24. I hope to see you guys there. Now get away from the computer, grab that guitar of yours and mash some rope. Let's get into it guys. Let's click it. More picking. Epilogue. I was just mixing down all the audio for this and I noticed I had it at 201 BPM, not 210. Nah, f it.